Hello, friends. This is Dave Pasqualone with the Remarkable People podcast, and this is a sample of what you're going to get in the podcasting class. So, the podcasting class, we're calling it How to Podcast in 8 Weeks or Less, aka also known as From Zero to Hero in Podcasting. And what this is and what this isn't is going to be discussed in this video very briefly. For details of some of the sections and lessons and the things you'll learn, check out the notes, check out the webpage. But for real quick, I just wanted you to see, we're going to get into a meeting like this, and we're going to talk for about 45 minutes each week, covering specific topics that are very important and crucial to get your podcast going. And then the second half will be 45 minutes of questions and answers. The inaugural class is going to get just 8 to 10 people max. There may be 2, there may be 5, probably going to be 8 to 10. We're not going to go bigger than that. We're going to make sure it's a small group. Knowledge-wise, thankfully, the last 6 months I've spent learning and researching, and you're going to be able to benefit taking your podcast, what's in your head and your heart, to bring it to the world. Well, you're going to be able to avoid landmines and lost time and lost money by avoiding the mistakes I made and kind of getting the fast track to how to do this best for you. Now, do I know everything? Nope. Does anyone in this industry know everything? Nope. This industry, even though it's been around for years, it's still in its infancy stage. So you're getting in at the great time, especially while we're recording this segment. COVID-19 is going crazy across the world. With that said, this is the time to get prepared, to start your podcast, to work out the kinks, because right now listenership globally of podcasts cut by 50% because everybody's routines disrupted. Well, when the routines, the new normal kicks in, they're going to be running again. They're going to be going to work out again. They're going to be taking drives places. Routine will set in, and podcasts are king. So this is a great time and opportunity to learn to podcast. I'm excited. Let's do this together. So what this class is in a nutshell is from the beginning of, should I podcast? You have to know it's a commitment. You have to know there's a lot of time. There's money that goes into it. Now I'm going to teach you ways to speed things up. I'm going to teach you ways to make money. I'm going to teach you ways to not have it be tedious, because the interviews or the recordings you're making are really fun, but sometimes the editing can be mind-boggling and right? So what I want to do is I want to teach you the lessons I've learned so you can have the most enjoyable experience, and again, just fast track it to the top. So our podcast, we started as a ministry and a little bit of credentials, so you know we kind of know what we're talking about here. So what happened was we started as a ministry knowing nothing, and over the course of 3 months of actually actively podcasting, we went from no listeners to listeners in 48 countries around the globe. There's a ranking scale, and basically if you're in the top 200 in your category, so you have like personal development, comedy, lifestyle, all the different categories, which we'll learn more about in the class. But there's over 900,000 active podcasts right now and growing every day. Out of that, we've been ranked all over the world in the top 200. We're in the personal development category. Then we've gone as low as 90, but we're doing this with no advertising and marketing other than what we're doing. And we're doing it just through the knowledge God shared with us and the strength he's given us. So that's what we're going to teach you in this podcasting segment. So this is good for audio podcast. This is not going to be a video podcast. We can do that in another section. Next, it's going to be for interview podcasts and for like people who are doing just monologue podcasts. So if you want to do a dramatic podcast, you can learn about all the fundamentals to get you going and to get you up and running. But the knowledge of the actual how to interview someone, how to format the script, and how to get sponsors, it's going to be a little bit different if you're doing a different type of podcast. So again, this is for the monologue podcast and for the interview style podcast. It's going to be a 1.5 hour class per week on Thursday nights. And then that'll be divided into 2 sections, 45 minutes of me teaching and going through the content for the week. Then we'll have 45 minutes for Q&A. And this is what's really exciting. This is the inaugural class. The knowledge is in here and we're all learning together because I don't know everything. We're going to continue to grow and learn. I'm just going to teach you what I've done that's been successful. But what's really cool is we're going to meet privately. That's why the group's small, 8 to 10 people, but once a week for 15 to 30 minutes, I'm going to personally talk to you and answer your specific questions. So on Thursdays, we're going to meet and then say on Monday night or Tuesday afternoon, you and I are going to talk whenever we schedule it. And we're going to answer your questions so you can complete the task to stay on task and get your podcast done in 8 weeks or less. So those are kind of the things we're going to do. And then if you need help during the week, questions, you can shoot me some questions via email. Nothing extensive like books, but I can help you out as much as I can. But the goal is we want serious, remarkable people who want to do a podcast, not just think about it, but actually do. So if you're ready to start, if you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm committed. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but it's totally worth it. So if you have a passion inside of you, if you have a story, if you have a concept, something you want to share to help the world, you're at the right place. In 8 weeks or less, you're going to be podcasting yourself. We're going to go through all the equipment. We're going to go through the sound editing. We're going to go through marketing. We're going to go through how to get sponsors. Now, I've done a long intro video. The classes will be obviously scripted out, not scripted where it's not natural, but there's going to be an outline of what we're covering. You'll get that ahead of time. And another thing I'm really excited about is I'm going to put together a website that's password protected. It's only for you. And on this page, it's going to be everything we're going through. All the tech, like, hey, this is a mic I'd recommend. Here's the sound equipment I'd recommend. Here's a good way to maybe use this tool to get more listeners or to get new guests. But as I grow and as you grow, we're going to constantly upload that page. And because you're part of the inaugural season, you're going to have lifetime access. So in this 8-week class, we're going to do it for $300. You're going to get coaching midweek and you're going to get lifetime access to the podcasting library. Awesome deal. So you're going to have the ability to grow. We're going to continue to grow together and we're just going to have fun and land on top. So this is Dave Pasqualone with the Remarkable People Podcast. This is going to be called How to Podcast from Start to Finish in 8 weeks or less. I really look forward to starting with you soon. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.